Buddha reveals the secret to life's true purpose. The eternal question. Late one night, I found myself parked on an empty road, staring at the infinite expanse of stars above me. A question, as old as humanity itself, surfaced in my mind. What is the meaning of life? This question haunts us all at some point. Some find solace in religion, others in philosophy, and many in the endless pursuit of success. But what if we have been asking the wrong question all along? Buddhism offers a radically different approach to meaning. One that doesn't involve chasing after it like a prize but instead understanding why the chase itself is the problem. In this exploration, we will unravel Buddhist wisdom on life's meaning, deconstruct the myths of purpose, and learn practical steps to live a truly fulfilling life. Chapter 1. The Illusion of Meaning. Why we feel lost. 1. The search that never ends. Everywhere we look, we are bombarded with messages about finding our true purpose. Social media is filled with influencers preaching about discovering one's calling. Books on personal development promise a path to fulfillment. And we are taught from childhood that we need to achieve something grand to be worthy. Yet, despite all of this, so many people feel lost, unfulfilled, and disconnected. Why? Because the very act of searching implies that we are currently incomplete. It suggests that happiness and fulfillment are not here and now but exist somewhere in the future. This mindset is a trap. When we tie our sense of meaning to external achievements, relationships, or status, we create an ever-moving goalpost. As soon as we reach one milestone, the mind quickly jumps to the next. The feeling of wholeness remains elusive, and the cycle of dissatisfaction continues. The modern world exacerbates this through consumer culture, social comparison, and the glorification of personal success, leaving many feeling like they are perpetually falling behind. 2. The Buddhist perspective. You are already whole. Buddhism teaches that we suffer because we believe we lack something. We chase meaning, love, success, and happiness as if they are external trophies waiting to be won. However, the reality is that life is already meaningful. We just fail to see it because we are too busy searching elsewhere. A famous Zen story illustrates this beautifully. A monk spent 20 years searching for enlightenment. One day, as he was sweeping the temple grounds, he became completely absorbed in the simple act of sweeping. In that moment, enlightenment dawned on him. What he had been seeking all those years was always right in front of him. He was just too preoccupied with the search to notice it. This story mirrors the human condition. We are always reaching outward when fulfillment is actually found in the present moment. The core of Buddhist wisdom is that there is nothing missing. The illusion of lack is created by the mind's attachment to desires, expectations, and comparisons. Chapter 2. The Trap of Chasing Meaning. 1. A modern-day example. The successful but empty life. Meet James. He graduated from Harvard, built a successful tech startup, and had the perfect family. From the outside, he seemed to have it all. But one day, sitting across from me at a coffee shop, he admitted, "I wake up at 3 a.m. wondering what all this is for." He had achieved everything he was supposed to, yet he felt hollow inside. His story isn't unique. So many high achievers experience this existential void. They keep moving the goalpost, thinking the next milestone will finally bring peace. But the truth is, fulfillment isn't found at the finish line. It's found in how we run the race. The cycle of dissatisfaction is perpetuated by society's definition of success, which often emphasizes material gain and external validation rather than inner contentment. Even those who have achieved great things often feel a nagging emptiness, a sense that something is still missing. The constant need for more money, more recognition, more achievement, keeps them trapped in a never-ending chase. It is a race with no finish line, leading only to exhaustion and disillusionment. 2. The Buddhist answer: stop running. Buddhism doesn't tell us to abandon ambition, but it does ask us to examine our relationship with it. Are we pursuing success because we genuinely enjoy the journey, or are we hoping that achieving something will finally make us feel whole? The more we chase happiness, the more elusive it becomes. Like trying to grab air, the tighter we hold on, the less we have. Instead of seeking meaning in achievements, Buddhism invites us to find fulfillment in the present moment. This is where mindfulness comes in. By cultivating awareness, we realize that happiness is not in the future, it is in the here and now. When we let go of the need for external validation, we begin to see that life itself is inherently meaningful. A well-known Zen teaching states, "If you understand, things are just as they are. If you do not understand, things are just as they are." This wisdom suggests that meaning is not something to be manufactured or hunted down. It is found in simply being present. The more we surrender to this realization, the freer we become. 3. The illusion of external fulfillment. One of the fundamental Buddhist teachings is that suffering arises from attachment and craving. We believe that success, relationships, or recognition will make us complete. But these things are impermanent. They come and go, leaving us feeling unsteady. No amount of external accomplishment can provide lasting satisfaction because the very nature of the human mind is to desire more. Consider the concept of dukkha in Buddhism, often translated as suffering, but more accurately described as a pervasive sense of dissatisfaction. This dissatisfaction arises because we constantly seek meaning in things that are fleeting. We attach ourselves to an idealized future rather than embracing the present reality. The Buddha taught that liberation comes not from achieving, but from understanding the nature of desire itself. Chapter 3. Practical Steps to Finding Meaning Without the Chase. 1. Morning Death Meditation. This may sound morbid, but it's a powerful tool rooted in Buddhist practice. In Tibetan Buddhism, meditating on death, Maranasati, is a means of awakening. Every morning, take 2 minutes to reflect on the impermanence of life. Imagine that this day could be your last, not as a way to induce fear, but to cultivate a deep sense of presence and gratitude. Consider this. If today were your final day, how would you spend it? Would minor frustrations bother you? Would you still delay your dreams, your expressions of love, or your moments of joy? When you reflect on death, it strips away illusions, leaving only what truly matters. This practice helps you move through life with clarity, embracing each moment as a gift rather than a burden. To deepen this meditation, visualize yourself letting go of attachments, your possessions, your achievements, even your identity. Realize that in the end, nothing material stays with you. What remains is the energy you bring to the world, the love, the wisdom, the presence you cultivate. 2. Observing the mind's cravings. Throughout your day, observe your mind's endless chase for fulfillment. The human mind, conditioned by habit, constantly seeks something outside itself: success, validation, pleasure, security. This craving is the root of suffering, dukkha, as described in Buddhist teachings. When you feel discontent, pause, ask yourself, what am I seeking? Why do I believe I need this to be happy? Are you scrolling through social media yearning for a different life? Fantasizing about the future instead of fully living the present? The act of simply noticing these cravings without judgment is transformative. It creates a gap between impulse and action, allowing you to break free from conditioned responses. Instead of feeding cravings, cultivate a sense of enoughness. Take a breath and remind yourself, in this moment, I have everything I need. This shift in awareness fosters a deeper sense of peace and contentment. Over time, you'll see that happiness isn't something to chase, it's something to uncover within. 3. Fully engaging in the present. Mindfulness isn't just a practice, it's a way of being. One of the simplest yet most profound ways to cultivate meaning is to fully engage in whatever you are doing. Pick a mundane activity, washing dishes, brushing your teeth, walking down the street, and do it as if it's the most important thing in the world. Feel the warm water on your hands as you wash a dish. Notice the scent of the soap, the texture of the sponge, the sound of the water. When brushing your teeth, observe the tingling of the toothpaste, the rhythm of your strokes, the freshness in your mouth. If you're walking, feel each step, hear the subtle sounds of nature, notice the movement of the wind. Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh taught that when you do the dishes, you should only be doing the dishes. If your mind is elsewhere, rushing to finish or thinking about something else, you are missing your own life. By bringing full attention to the present moment, even the simplest act becomes sacred. Life itself becomes meditation. 4. Practicing generosity without expectation. Another powerful way to break free from the chase for meaning is through selfless giving. In Buddhism, the practice of dana, generosity, is a path to liberation. When you give, whether it's your time, kindness, or resources, without expecting anything in return, you experience true freedom. Try small acts of generosity throughout your day. Smile at a stranger, help a colleague, listen deeply to someone in need. Give not because it makes you feel good, but because it connects you to something greater than yourself. Over time, you'll find that the deepest joy comes not from acquiring, but from sharing. 5. Letting go of the illusion of control. Much of our suffering arises from our desire to control outcomes, our careers, relationships, even our personal growth. But life is inherently unpredictable. The more we resist this truth, the more we struggle. Instead, practice equanimity, upekkha, the art of non-attachment. Whenever you find yourself grasping for control, pause and ask, can I allow this moment to be as it is? Accepting uncertainty doesn't mean passivity. It means moving through life with grace rather than resistance. When you stop trying to control everything, you open yourself to the flow of life, and with that, a deeper sense of peace. 6. Cultivating inner silence. In the modern world, we are bombarded with noise, both external and internal. Our minds are filled with constant chatter, judgments, and anxieties. Silence is rare, yet it is in silence that we find clarity and meaning. Dedicate time each day to sit in stillness, whether through formal meditation or simply sitting quietly with no distractions. Allow yourself to be with whatever arises. At first, discomfort may surface, restlessness, boredom, emotions you've suppressed. But if you stay with the silence, you'll notice something profound, a vast, spacious awareness beyond thoughts and feelings. This is the essence of who you are. Through silence, you reconnect with your true self, not the self that chases achievements, but the one that simply is. 7. Living with purpose, not pressure. Meaning doesn't come from chasing success, it comes from living with intentionality. What values do you want to embody? What impact do you want to have? Instead of obsessing over grand achievements, focus on living each day in alignment with your deepest truths. Purpose is not about what you do, it's about how you do it. If you bring mindfulness, kindness, and authenticity to your actions, even the smallest moments become meaningful. When you stop chasing and start being, life itself becomes enough. By integrating these practices into your daily life, you move beyond the endless chase for meaning and begin to experience it in each moment. True fulfillment is not found in external pursuits, but in the depth of your presence, awareness, and connection to the now. When you let go of the chase, you discover that everything you seek has been within you all along. Chapter 4. Stories of Transformation. Sarah's Awakening. Sarah spent a decade building a nonprofit that provided art therapy for trauma survivors. She lived and breathed her work, believing that her purpose in life was inseparable from her mission. When the organization collapsed due to funding cuts, she was devastated, not just because she lost her job, but because she lost her identity. Without the nonprofit, who was she? Through Buddhist practice, she realized that her suffering wasn't from losing the nonprofit. It was from clinging to the belief that her work defined her. She reflected on the impermanence of all things, anicca, and recognized that attachment to external validation only leads to suffering. When she let go of that attachment, she found peace. Instead of seeing the loss as a failure, she began to see it as a transition. With this newfound wisdom, Sarah approached life with a sense of detachment, not in the sense of indifference, but in freedom from clinging. She began to paint again, not for others, but for herself. She found joy in creativity without expectations. Today, she still helps others, but she no longer ties her self-worth to external achievements. Her true identity is not what she does, but how she lives with mindfulness and compassion. The musician who found his passion again. Mike was a professional musician obsessed with making it. He spent years chasing success, comparing himself to others, and feeling like he was never good enough. His relentless pursuit of recognition robbed him of the very thing that once brought him joy, music. It became a source of stress rather than expression. When he finally let go of the pressure to succeed, something magical happened. Inspired by Zen philosophy, he began to play simply for the sake of playing. Instead of performing to impress, he immersed himself in the sounds, feeling each note with full presence. He practiced Shoshin, the beginner's mind, approaching each song as if he were playing it for the first time. Without attachment to outcomes, his music improved. He started booking more gigs. And, most importantly, he fell in love with his craft again. Mike's transformation was not about giving up on his dreams but shifting his mindset. He no longer sought happiness in external validation. Instead, he found it in the act of creation itself. Now, when he steps on stage, he plays not to achieve, but to express, and in that expression, he has already succeeded. Letting go and finding freedom. Both Sarah and Mike's stories reflect a universal truth. Suffering arises from attachment, and freedom comes from letting go. Their journeys teach us that our worth is not tied to what we do, but to our ability to be present, adaptable, and true to ourselves. By embracing impermanence, practicing mindfulness, and relinquishing attachment to external achievements, we create space for deeper fulfillment and joy in our lives. Chapter 5. The Final Truth. You are already home. A wave in the ocean never stops to question whether it's enough. It simply exists, flowing with the rhythm of the sea. We, too, are part of the great flow of life. The belief that we need to become something is an illusion. We already are. The ultimate practice. See the extraordinary in the ordinary. Right now, take a deep breath. Feel the air fill your lungs. Listen to the sounds around you. Notice the weight of your body. This is life. It doesn't begin when you achieve a goal, find your purpose, or figure everything out. It's happening right now. When we release the need to chase after something outside ourselves, we begin to notice the inherent beauty in each moment. A simple breeze, a warm cup of tea, the gentle rise and fall of our breath. These are not mere background details but the essence of existence itself. The search for meaning ends when we realize that we were never separate from it to begin with. The illusion of becoming. Society tells us we must constantly improve, achieve, and strive toward a future version of ourselves that is more successful, wiser, or more enlightened. But this idea is built on an illusion, the belief that we are somehow incomplete. Imagine a tree. Does it spend its time worrying about how tall it will grow or how many leaves it will bear? No, it simply grows, rooted in the present, allowing life to unfold naturally. We, too, can embody this state of being. There is no need to wait for the perfect version of yourself to arrive. You are already enough. Surrendering to the flow of life. Consider a river. It does not resist its course or struggle against the rocks in its path. It moves fluidly, adapting and embracing the journey without attachment to where it will end up. When we resist life, when we fight against the present moment, believing it should be different, we create suffering. Surrender does not mean passivity, it means trust. It means opening to life as it is, rather than wishing it to be something else. When we let go of resistance, we align with the natural flow of existence, and in doing so, we find freedom. The practice of returning home. To recognize that you are already home, begin with presence. Throughout your day, return to your breath, observe sensations in your body, feel the ground beneath your feet. Instead of being lost in thoughts of the past or future, anchor yourself in what is real, this moment. If you feel restless, anxious, or incomplete, pause, ask yourself, what is lacking in this very moment? More often than not, you'll find that the only thing missing is your awareness of what's already here. Peace isn't something to chase, it's something to return to, over and over again. Embracing the present as enough. There is nothing to fix. There is nothing to prove. There is nowhere else you need to be other than here. The journey isn't about reaching some distant enlightenment. It's about realizing that you have never been separate from it. The path is not about changing who you are but awakening to who you've always been. You are already home. Chapter 6. Conclusion. The only moment that matters. Life's meaning isn't hidden in some grand revelation. It's not waiting for you in the future. It's here, in this moment, in the act of reading these words. The search for meaning is like looking for your glasses while wearing them. The moment you stop searching, you realize it was with you all along. But why is it so difficult to embrace the present? The mind is restless, constantly weaving between past regrets and future anxieties. It clings to what was and reaches for what might be, rarely settling into what is. This is the essence of suffering, the refusal to be fully immersed in the now. In Buddhist teachings, the present moment is the only reality. The past exists only as memories, shaped by perception, and the future is nothing more than speculation. The more we chase meaning outside of the present, the further away it seems. When we let go, we see that the profound is found in the simplest of moments, the warmth of sunlight on the skin, the rhythm of breath, the stillness between heartbeats. The practice of presence. Today, pick one simple activity, eating, walking, talking to a friend, and be fully present for it. Experience it as if it's the most important thing in the universe. Because, in reality, it is. When you eat, taste each bite as if it were your first. When you walk, feel each step touching the earth. When you listen, absorb every word without forming your response in advance. Even the mundane becomes sacred when infused with full attention. The act of washing dishes, often seen as a chore, becomes a meditation when we focus on the warmth of the water, the smooth surface of the plate, the sound of water droplets falling. This is mindfulness, the practice of being completely here, fully alive. Beyond seeking, living meaning. Many people spend their lives searching for meaning, believing it exists in achievements, possessions, or future milestones. But meaning is not something to be found, it is something to be lived. The person who tends a garden with care is living meaning. The mother who soothes her child in the night is living meaning. The teacher who shares wisdom, the friend who listens, the stranger who smiles. Each moment of presence is an expression of life's deepest significance. By shifting our perspective, we can stop searching for meaning and start living it. The next time you feel lost, pause, breathe, observe. This moment, no matter how ordinary it seems, is a gateway to something extraordinary. Let me know in the comments, what ordinary moment in your life has felt extraordinary when you were fully present?